Brilliant. Welcome back to the Grand Zero podcast. It's been a while. And due to unforeseen circumstances, I'm lone wolfing. It's been a while since I've done it like this. Because I've been able to get guests on. But the last 4 guests that I've had have all cancelled last minute, which doesn't affect my neuroses at all. It doesn't make me go a bit loopy. But no, in seriousness, previously I would have gone on a downward spiral. I would have taken that as a negative. Nobody wants to listen. Nobody wants to hear what I've got to say, which is partly true, jokingly. But for me, recently, I've been in a very, very good place. And looking back over the past couple of years, doing the show, it has come on leaps and bounds, and not just the show itself, but myself personally. Previously, I would literally obsess over the negative and be a nightmare to be around within my own house, which is not what I want to do. It's not what I want to be, which is why I went and got help. But yeah, so I got these 4 cancellations, and obviously I did an episode with Little Brown, which is still going through some processing. What that means is Darren's still got it and hasn't done anything with it. So that's down to him whether he thinks it's good enough to be uploaded or whatnot. But for me, it fucking is. As you guys know, I'm very much unscripted. Very much unedited. There's a few bits of editing that I do, add in the music, add in the little fucking graphic at the beginning of the YouTube stuff. But other than that, it's just me on my own. But yeah, we'll get through it. We'll do about 30 minutes, half hour, 45 minutes, something like that. But today is another beautiful fucking sunny day, especially down in Kent, and the views from the Shedio are incredible at the minute. Beautiful blue sky, something about the sun that just puts you in a fucking good mood. It really fucking does. Nice hot weather, go and have a fucking beer, chill the fuck out. What more could you ask for, really? For me, it really does boost the mind and whatnot. It makes you it really does make you feel good. And yeah, let's get out and enjoy the sunshine, because the positive endorphins that are released through the good weather, it makes you want to go outside, and going outside then makes you feel better anyway. It's a bit like when you do a bit of fizz and you do it outside, you're like, fucking, that was fucking brilliant. It's awesome. So get outside, do a bit, get amongst it. But yeah, the journey is still ongoing. The journey never ends, Every now and then you do get that little blip. You do get setbacks. You do get moments that you get stuck in your head and you're like, fuck this. I've had it quite recently. In terms of the podcast, everything at home has been fucking shit hot. It's been great. Mrs. back at work, kids are back at school. It seems to be light at the end of the tunnel of this fucking bullshit. Had a jab, so there's a fucking plus. Work is going well. My regular human job, it's going through the roof. And then obviously the side project of FC Granite Zero, trying to organise and get raffle prizes and sponsorships and this, that, and the other. It is very fucking stressful, and a lot of it, the majority of it, is landing on my shoulders alone. And it is my project. It is something that I've wanted to do. However, did I know it was going to be this fucking stressful? Did I fuck? So concentrating on that and trying to get as many people to the game as possible is, and trying to get the prizes right, trying to get the team sorted, the kit sorted, etc., etc. It's fucking draining, and I found myself focusing more on the football than I was on the podcast. And you know, where I would normally be sending out invites for guests weeks, maybe even months in advance, I've been not really doing that. I've been leaving it till fucking Wednesday and saying, fancy coming on? And things change, time changes, you know, and you know, nobody waits around. However, I do have some guests lined up. They are in the pipeline. But yeah, I've been sort of resting on my laurels and whatnot, and not really focusing on myself. I've been once again putting other things forward, ahead of my own head. And I'm referring to the podcast as my own head because this is my sanctuary. This is my outlet, my way of dealing with those little fucking niggly demons that pop up and go, "You're right, mate. Hey, do you remember me? I'm the one that drags you down to the darkness." Yeah. So the podcast is my outlet for that. This is where I fucking vent. This is where I let all my fucking stresses out, and I haven't been doing that. But for the first time in years, me not venting it out on the podcast has not affected in the house in the slightest, and it hasn't affected my work. So just shows that when you actually study about your own head, you actually get inside this and you figure out what is going on, your little triggers, your way of counteracting that, the light, you might want to say, at the end of the tunnel, your little canaries, down the mine shaft. Once you discover your ways of getting yourself ready, prepared for a blip, ready and prepared and stable enough to go, fucking, I know it's coming. I know it's coming. When you get to that stage, it is a fucking relief. You know, I've had all this stress building up. And normally I would go on a fucking down. Shouting at the kids, shouting at the missus, you know, pushing everyone away. Not this time. No. This time I knew that it was coming. So I took little moments, little steps. You know, yesterday I took the girls just down the pub, just for a quick pint. You know, just these little de-stresses. I went for a curry with the lads the other week. Little things to de-stress yourself. I've been cycling to work. I've been going to the gym. I've been doing football practice. All these little things are helping to just open the valve a little bit, relieve that little bit of tension, that little bit of stress out of your life. And that's what people got to realize they've got to do. You've got to find your niche. You've got to find your little bit of happiness that you can turn to, whether it's a hobby, fucking painting Warhammer, I don't fucking know, could be anything. Going to the gym is probably the best option. Going for a walk, going for a fucking jog, getting on a bike. Any of those little things really fucking help. They really fucking do. And I implore you to do it. Look at me using fucking words. Who the fuck is this guy? But it has been a turn. It has been a turning point, and I love it. But onto the football. So I've had some fucking brilliant prizes come through. Some fucking amazing artwork, signed sports memorabilia, bits from Spurs, themselves, hoodies, Indian restaurant fucking vouchers. Combat Fuels are sending a voucher. 1-to-1 fucking boxing with Danny Fitzgerald, who is a professional coach. So yeah, it's all coming along. However, yeah, need to do a bit more training though, Tommo, don't you? You fat fucker. Yeah, we've done a few training sessions. The fundamentals are still there, standard. However, my mind still thinks I'm like 20. So it's like, knock that ball pass, sprint to it. So I do it. 14 years later, my legs start to move. I'm not as quick as I used to be, so I'm gonna have to adjust the game a little bit, and actually think of different ways that I can play football. Perhaps I could be a target man. Now I'm fucking solid. But yeah, it's going to be a really fucking good day. So for those that don't know, it's going to be held on the 11th of July this year, same day as the Euros Cup final, held at Wembley. So hopefully England will be playing in that. I doubt it, but I hope they do. 2:00 kickoff at the Gallagher Stadium in Maidstone. Now, it's got a capacity of 4,200. I'm not expecting to sell that out, obviously. However, we've sold a fair few tickets at the minute. We've got a few people coming, and we're making money. And as you guys know that have been following the football, following the podcast, it is for Rock to Recovery. And once again, I want to reiterate this. This is the first sporting team event that is directly involved with Team Rock to Recovery, Team Fortitude, to raise money. What I mean by that is nobody's ever done a team event, as in football, rugby, hockey, basketball, those sort of games. Nobody's done that. This is the first. Because usually it's just an individual event, and everybody can do that. Can everybody organise a football match? Just this guy. No, it's going to be good though. It's going to be good. Hopefully we can raise a lot of money for Rock to Recovery, because looking into what they do and what they've done is fucking brilliant. And the way they help veterans, servicemen, and families of veterans or servicemen is second to none, I would say. Medical, mental, financial help. Not a lot will do any of that. In fact, I can hold my hands up. I've been to a few military charities to try and help with the podcast. I explained why the podcast is important to myself, what it does, and sort of the help that I would need. and trying to get the name of the podcast out there so that other veterans and, well, just normal people that suffer with mental health issues can see, oh, this guy can do it. Anyone can do it. But yeah, I got shat on by a number of military charities. I'm not going to fucking call them out on here because there's no need. But Rock to Recovery, they will help. And I've spoken to them a few times, Charlie mainly, and they're just fucking brilliant. They sent out the t-shirts, the flags, the posters, all of the above. Sorry about that. I got an email, and that's probably going to come through on the thing. Yeah, and they're excited for the game as well, and they will be there. They'll have their own stand up, so you can go and see them, speak to them, and I believe Charlie will say a few words at the end. It's going to be good. It's going to be good, and I'm looking forward to it. Fucking nervous as shit, not to play football because I've played football my whole life, and not because there's a crowd there. I'm nervous because I want to do the best that I can for this cause. I don't want like no one to turn up, and I don't want two people to turn up or whatever, just my wife and kids to turn up. And it is a stressful time. I kind of want the game to just happen now and be done, so that I can go and have a proper beer. But yeah, it's exciting, but also stressful as shit, and I'm fucking flapping a little bit, trying to get all the admin done. But yeah, it's all coming along. It's all clicking in nicely to place, and dealing with the stresses, like I said, and becoming more Sean again, not just Tommo who blocks everything up. I'm more Sean, which is good. And obviously, you guys will know that I've stopped taking the antidepressants, which is also, for me, I know that loads of people still use them, and good. Don't do what I did and go cold turkey, fucking idiot. But I now feel again. I'm now again quite more in tune with my own emotions. I know when I'm getting too angry. I know when I'm getting upset and sad. I know when I'm frustrated and things like that. Before, I was just a fucking zombie. So fuck that noise. I'd rather not. You know what I mean? Rather not, Chief. Rather not. One thing I do need to bring up quickly is a big shout out to guest of the year, double champ, former Cage Warriors double champ, should I say, now UFC superstar, Mason Jones, who had a fight last night and absolutely dominated the fuck out of the chap that he was fighting. Was starching him, was showing him, was taking him to school. And this guy's fucking 11 years older than him, and 11 years his senior, 11 years more in the game, that sort of thing. And Mason was really fucking on point with everything. He was plowing through. He was taking him to school, teaching him a fucking lesson. Accidental eye poke. The bloke could have taken the 5 minutes to recover and see if his eye was still working. But he sat there and said he couldn't see. I can tell you what you couldn't see because you've been punched in the face, my boy. Let's face it, that was going to be a finish for Mason. That was not going to the judges whatsoever. So even though it's going to be down as a no contest, Mason, fucking congratulations on that fight, because you fucking showed the world what you could do. You know, your previous fight didn't go your way, but was also a contender for fight of the year. You've now second fight in and no contest, so you've got the fucking curse that I've got. But you also proved that you fucking belong in there. You battered that fucking guy. You battered him, and it was fucking brilliant. Amazing to watch. So fucking well done, Mace, on that one. Big shout out to Mason Jones. Yeah, up next on the old fucking agenda, keeping it with fighting, because I like combat sports, as you guys know. Tonight is Logan Paul versus Floyd Mayweather. I did read somewhere that like it is an exhibition match, so it's not going to go on any record. Yeah, it's a tricky one because I don't really give a shit. Floyd is obviously doing it to get some monies, but really, he lost to KSI, who's a YouTuber. It's strange to me. I know boxers and UFC fighters and MMA fighters want to teach these Paul brothers a lesson, but they're also doing it for their own personal gain, because the Paul brothers are generating this amazing amount of fucking money for these fights, multi-million-dollar fights. And they're rascals. One of them used to work for Disney. You're not a fighter. And you did batter fucking Ben Askren, who can't strike. I can strike better than Ben Askren. It's fucking bizarre. Now he's fighting. Now the other one's fighting fucking Tyrone Woodley. And I've got my skeptical hippo eyes on all of it. I'm like, this is because boxing is renowned. It's just known for fixing fights and cheating and drugs and PEDs. Oh, there's another email. I'm so popular. I'm just not that invested. I will check the result in the morning and be like, all right. If Floyd doesn't win, it's very fucking fishy. However, the guy does have 34 pounds on him. That was yesterday at the weigh-in when he's already cut weight. So he's going to put on more fucking pounds. So he's going to be over 200 pounds. And he's 6'2". Floyd Mayweather apparently is 5'8". I don't think he is. Definitely my height. And like 160 pounds or whatever. So if Paul wins, he's got a fucking hella advantage over Mayweather. But skills wise, Mayweather should just not. Just fucking winds me up. It's so bollocks. It is bollocks. But back to the main subject. So Granite Zero at the minute is cursed for getting guests on. So obviously 4 dropped out, as I said at the beginning. But you know, in previous times it would be, oh, everybody fucking hates me. But now it's, I don't give a fuck. I'll sit here and I'll strip it back to basics. You know, is yeah. So this is a good little segue. So I listen to a lot of Jocko, and he has that saying, which is good. Something doesn't go right, good. You can learn from it, get better from it. Don't have the high speed kit you wanted, good. We'll just use the basics. But yeah, so I have had 4 guests cancel. Good. Didn't need them. Strip it back, go back to how you started. You know, and that's what we do. You know, I have a specific way of doing things. And not a lot of people can sit and just talk to themselves, which sounds weird, for a sustained period of time. But for some reason, I've got this knack of being able to just do that. It's probably growing up, really. As a kid, I spent quite a bit of time just mincing about with fucking Action Man and fucking G.I. Joe and all my toys and just making up games and scenarios. So I was always talking to myself. So it's something that I'm used to and I can do it. But that being said, there's nothing like having a guest and diving into their situation, their way of thinking, their way of doing things, and picking up little bits, little pertinent information, little bits that you can. I'll borrow that. I'll put that on my fucking suit of armor. I'll put that in my fucking back belt. And yeah, it all seems good, mate. It all really seems good. And that's everything from the lockdown bits being lifted. I keep hearing that there are all these new strains and they're thinking about moving the fucking lockdown a bit further or the release date. Hey, just fucking get on with it now. Of course there's going to be new variants. It's a fucking virus, you dickheads. It fucking mutates. Even I know that, and I'm a fucking idiot. We all seem to be getting on with it now. Things are going back to normal and it's starting to look a bit more normal. People are starting to be happier. That's what the government have got to realise now is you've got the vaccine. People are getting it or not, your choice. But also, you now have to start thinking about people's mental health because they've been locked away for like nearly 2 years. Not nearly 2 years, over a year and a half, whatever. And it's just not fucking fair anymore. We should have the choice now. Yeah, so I don't know if it's mental health awareness month or fucking week or whatever. I know we're now coming into Pride, so I think mental health is now taking the back burner now because that's what happens. You know, because you can only discuss mental health and mental health awareness during certain weeks of the year or certain months of the year. Bollocks. So every fucking day. Fucking the Rifle Regiment have lost 2 riflemen in the last few weeks to suicide, which is fucking sad. And my thoughts and fucking feelings and prayers and whatnot go out to the families of those riflemen and the brothers that they served with. I think they came from the same battalion as well, which is shocking. I mean, they've had the most of one battalion to lose the most soldiers, which is fucking horrific, sad, and more needs to be done. More things like getting inner armor into the military, things like getting James Elliott to go and speak to people with his resilience training. More needs to be done to build up the resilience, and add bits of fucking armor to each fucking soldier, veteran, whatever the fuck. More needs to be done to expand the knowledge of everything behind mental health. It's all well and good having trim practitioners on your fucking flight, but fuck me, everybody needs to know how your fucking mind works and how everybody's fucking different, to treat everybody different, to also treat everybody fucking kindly, not throw people under the bus, not think, hey mate, fucking man up, soldier up, we got to get on with it. There's bollocks. We're in peacetime at the minute. We need to start building people up so that they understand the fucking triggers and all that sort of shit, so that you can deal with it before it fucking takes over your life, and something that could end your life. That's the real pandemic. The military need to do more. The police need to do more. The NHS need to do more. Oh, don't ever go to the NHS. I will, because in terms of mental health awareness, which is everybody's aware of it, what can we do about it is what we need to do. We all need to do more. We all need to check in. I say this fucking time and time again. We all need to do more. Until you lose someone close to you, or you do it yourself, and then your mates lose someone, your kids lose someone, your wife loses someone, your husband loses someone. You've got to think about other people as well as yourself. We all need to do more, especially the big fucking government funded organizations. The MOD, definitely. Started way before now. It's not a new fucking thing. Started before fucking the Great War. But we'll use the Great War as an example. People coming home with shell shock. They've witnessed and seen some horrific, horrendous, heinous things. And you expect people to come home to be all right. World War II, today, would have been D-Day. Storming those beaches at Normandy. Those that came back, it's like, then they're not the same people that left. Northern Ireland, exactly the same. Still getting prosecuted for that bullshit. Want to get it behind them. Yes, they wear the medals with pride because they feel like they've done something for their country, but they want that to get out of their fucking head. Falklands, same. The fucking war that's not really spoke about or talked about or even brought up in conversation. Iraq, Gulf War, Iraq 2, Afghanistan, you know, the new ones, you know, and now it seems to be that more and more men are coming out with, and women are coming out with these issues. But it's not just triggered by war, it could be triggered by anything from at home as well. It could be a divorce, it could be a loss of a loved one, it could be anything. But yet, the military, I'm going to use them as an example, still, as much as they say that they do this and this and this, and it's time to talk and all that, it's still the stiff upper lip, man up, boots on, crack on. And that's not good enough. The training for it is not good enough. The psychology is not good enough. The aftercare is not good enough. Too many men and women, soldiers, sailors, and airmen are taking their own fucking lives because the lack of training, the lack of knowledge. And it's fucking bullshit. Do better. Do fucking better. Anyway, that took a fucking turn. That took a bit of a passionate turn. That's because I was basically laughed at for having fucking mental health issues by people in my own fucking regiment. People that call me friend. One went to my fucking wedding. Was on my stag do. Yeah. You can use these little clips if you want, you fucking cunts. Anyway, before I fucking kick off on that, I haven't even had a drink. That's because it's like 10 in the morning. But yeah. I think that's a good place to sort of tail off and sort of, you know, finish off the show. What I want to do is just quickly say that anybody that listens that is struggling, please fucking feel free to send me a DM on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook. I'll always answer. Might take me a while, excuse me, but I'll always answer. And just remember, there are people out there that care about you. You do have friends, you do have family that care about you. So don't feel like you're a burden because you're feeling shit. You all feel like shit from time to time. It's how we deal with those moments where we do feel like shit. Quick fucking FaceTime to your brother, you know, and fucking vent it out. I'd rather you go on a fucking massive rant, venting all your hate, anger, stress, sadness, all the emotions that you can possibly think of. I'd rather you fucking unload them like you're fucking unloading a belt of 7.62 out of a GPMG. I'd rather you fucking unload that bullets of emotion into me than you go, fuck it, I'm going to tie this noose. I'd rather listen to your problems than your fucking eulogy. Put it that way. But yeah, make sure you fucking message me. This will be out later on today. Please come down to the football on the 11th of July at the Gallagher Stadium, Maidstone. £5 a ticket. Fucking cheap day out, mate. Cheap day out. 1400 kickoff. Make sure you get down there. Granite Zero is made up of fucking veterans, Met Police, NHS workers, guests of the show. Even big old Tommo is having a fucking game, 70 years old nearly. And it would just be a good day out. It'd be nice to see other guests from the show. It'd be nice to see people that listen to the podcast, etc., etc. So please come on down, check it out. And yeah, cheers for listening to me ramble on for 40 odd minutes, I think. It's always a privilege to be able to speak to you. It's my fucking honor to be able to unload all this emotion. So again, thanks for listening. I've been Tommo. This has been the Granite Zero podcast, and we're out.